What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Fear the Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 2, The New Frontier. So, literally 2 or 3 minutes after my first video of the first episode of this season, after it uploads, all of a sudden I get a little buzz on my phone, and I see it's a YouTube notification. So I turn it on to see what it says, and it's somebody commenting, just like, on the new video already? And sure enough, I open it up and somebody has already commented. It was one view, one comment. It just said, "I can't believe you're still watching this shit show. Save yourself the time and stop." It doesn't really... My hopes were already kind of down after the first episode, after seeing some of the stupid decisions they made, the frustrating decisions they made. My hopes were already kind of down for this season. Now, I don't know if this is somebody who maybe stopped watching after season 1 or 2 and just like, "Oh, the show's terrible," and just commenting saying, "I can't believe you're still watching even season 3. Or if this is somebody who has actually watched some of the episodes this season and said, "Don't do it, stop, save yourself the time." But to be honest, first of all, I don't really have any other shows to watch. I've still got to get caught up on Fargo, but I think until it gets released on Netflix, I don't have another way to watch it right now that doesn't cost me more money. So, unfortunately, I can't watch that right now, so this is really the only one I have available to me to watch. So, yeah, it is a waste of time. I am probably going to be frustrated by some of the stupidity. I already am, but, well, what's a YouTube channel for if you're not going to bitch and complain about some things? So, let's get into this episode. We start off this episode, probably the stupidest decision the show has made thus far. Somebody starts randomly firing upon the helicopter. Travis gets shot in the neck and realizes that it's better to sacrifice himself than to turn and kill everybody else on the helicopter. So he opens the door and falls out. And so, unless this show really wants to go just a 100% supreme bullshit, this is the end of Travis. I really don't see him coming back. Honestly, if somehow they say he survived the fall and a gunshot to the neck, I mean, you can't get any more stupid than that. So I highly doubt they're going to do that. But with this show, you never know. He could easily survive that and say, "Oh, well, it's because his bones are made of steel, and yeah, that's why he survived." But anyway, so the helicopter goes down. We still don't know who shot at him. I assume we'll find out later on as the season goes. But they do land somewhere. Alicia obviously wants to go look for Travis, even if he's dead, just to confirm it and kill him as a walker. Jake, the brother of Troy, he obviously is like, "No, we can't do that." Luciana is out cold. She's not waking up. And then I don't know who this woman is. The owner of the ranch or whatever said that she's his goddaughter. So I don't really know how they're all connected. Jake seems really torn up whenever she inevitably goes off on her own and then dies. And then he has to shoot her corpse before she can turn. So I don't really know what was going on there, but I will say it did sort of catch me off guard that Jake made it back, because it seems like it could have been the perfect way for the show to just draw up some extra conflict by having Jake go off on his own and die. And so that way whenever Alicia shows up just with her and Luciana, it would be easy for the owner of the ranch to say, "Oh, I can't believe you. I don't believe you anymore because Jake is gone now too and he can't corroborate your story." And I honestly thought they were going to go that cliche route, but Jake manages to survive, which means the owner of the ranch probably will see, okay, these are just decent people who were severely mistreated by Troy and his kind of crazy ass. But also, another really frustrating part about this is, once again, trying to... I don't know if they're trying to make it subtle or what, but it's not subtle at all. Alicia and Jake are talking, and then just all of a sudden they start talking about their parents and how, Jake's like, "Oh, Troy was just given the ranch at a young age and he was always given the better." And Alicia's like, "Oh yeah, my mom was the same way." I'm just like, oh, they've got something in common. And now the girl goes off on her own and dies. And now there's just those two left alone, and all they've got is Luciana, who's out conscious. Could they possibly be trying to set up a romance here between the two of them? I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. if they don't do this, I'll be surprised, but it really feels like they're setting it up, and it's not subtle at all. It feels very planned and forced, like, oh, they're talking about their parents, and they've finally found something in common. You don't have to have characters get together in your show. You do not have to force romances on your shows, people. Get that through your minds. So, one of the other frustrating parts about this, after that scene is done where they find the woman dead, he shoots her corpse. The next day, they grab Luciana and they take her to the ranch, so they show up. Before all of this happens, we see Maddie and Nick show up at the compound with Troy. Troy hears that Jake isn't there, and so he's like, you two, get out, and stand outside. Don't really know why, don't know what this has to do with anything, but yeah, he just instantly tells them to get out. The owner of the ranch comes up to talk to Maddie, and so they're having a little conversation. He wants to know if Travis might possibly have hijacked the helicopter, and she's like, why would he? What purpose would that serve? So clearly Troy's already kind of putting a little bit of his lies into his father's ears, hoping to maybe sway him against them, because clearly, because she stabbed him in the eye with a spoon, clearly there's some bad blood there. But he seems very understanding, seems very reasonable, and so he lets him inside. But it doesn't matter, because our main characters are assholes. I mean, I've talked about this before. One of the things about shows like this, or movies like this, where you're following these people who are supposed to survive something, if you want to see them survive, you have to make them likable characters. You have to make them relatable. You have to make them seem nice, like nice people, even. Just something redeeming about them. There is absolutely nothing redeeming about Maddie or Nick. And that's the biggest problem with the show. You following these two like they are super important characters. Like, ooh, you gotta root for them. They gotta survive. You gotta hope that they manage to win and make the day. Go Maddie, go Nick. Why? Literally, obviously Troy. Okay, Troy is crazy. He tortured you guys. He threatened you guys. Makes sense why you don't trust Troy. His father comes out and is absolutely nothing but nice to you. You don't even know. Troy gives him his side of the story, and he hasn't even heard your side yet, and he seems like he might want to listen, He's going to listen to Jake's side when he gets back. You have no indication whatsoever that this guy wants to do you any harm. But because Troy did something wrong against you, the very first thing you're talking about is, we got to fight. We got to take some of the stuff, we got to use them until we've gotten everything we can, and then we're just going to run. I'm just like, okay, you guys are jerks. They give you someplace to stay. The father doesn't have to at this point. He could just completely take his son's word, see, okay, these people, I can't really trust them, but he's even like, okay, I'll let you into the compound. It's not necessarily like he's saying, hey, you have a place to stay, but he's giving them somewhere to stay for the night. That's pretty nice. And it doesn't matter. Nick's like, I can't trust these guys. And Maddie's just like, look, lower your voice. We'll figure out what's going on when we finally get Alicia and Travis back to us. And Nick's just, I can't trust them. We can't trust them. I'm going to find out where they sharpen their knives, and just leaves. I'm just like, how have you survived this long? I must have asked this question to Nick on my tablet. I'm just like, how have you survived this long? Because you're nothing but a jerk. You don't trust anybody. You don't rely on anybody. You only rely on yourself. That gets you killed in the apocalypse, but for some reason he's still alive. And I'm sick of seeing that. So, after a while, like I said, Alicia and Jake show up with Luciana. Of course, Maddie finds out that Travis is dead, so she's torn up about it. There's this one scene that's supposed to be really intense, but instead just feels like it's a very prolonged scene of nothing happening. Troy's just like, okay, well, she looks like she's not going to make it. The doctor says she's probably not going to make it, so I'm going to shoot her. Nick's like, let me do it. I'm allowed that. Grabs the gun, points it at Troy's head. Troy's father steps in the way and says, look, if she's got a pulse, we'll treat her. And so he puts the gun down. That took maybe 10, 15 seconds to explain. The scene lasts 4 minutes. He's like, okay, we gotta put her down. It's part of the rules here. Pulls out his gun, walks over to her. Stands over her for a good 5-10 seconds. And Nick's like, wait, I'll do it. I'm allowed that. And then the guy's looking looking, looking. 20 seconds later, there you go. So then Nick stands over top of her. Music is building, music is building. 15 seconds later, points the gun at the guy's head. Everybody points their guns at him. I'm just like, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him. Nobody does anything. He's just standing there. Eventually, about 25 seconds later, the father steps in front of the son. He's like, look, we'll figure this out, all right? Just put the gun down. 30 seconds later, Nick finally turns over the gun, and then the scene's over finally. I mean, it lasts forever, and I get they're trying to build intensity, but I feel no intensity because I don't care about any of these characters. I mean, you have to care about the characters if you want to feel the intensity. I don't. I want Nick dead. I want Maddie dead. Alicia, I don't really want dead because she's not really a poor character, and she's pretty. But, you know, Nick his life is being threatened here. He's threatening the life of another guy who's a psychopath. Why do I care about this scene? So, after all that's said and done, we see a scene where Maddie is off by her own, you know, crying, puking everywhere because she's, you know, getting over the death of Travis. Eventually, Troy's father, I'll learn his name, don't worry. But he shows up and he gives her a book, just like, look, you need to sign for this pistol, after kind of helping her out, saying, you know, I lost my wife, it was tough, nothing but Jack Daniels and Coke, and, you know, I've had many mornings like this before. So he's trying to connect to her. I'm just like, see, this guy seems like a decent guy. You know, just because his son is a psychopath does not mean he's a terrible person. And so after this kindness, you know, seeing this, you know, Alicia and Nick, they go in. For some reason, Alicia's like, are handcuffs really necessary? I'm like, she might turn, so yeah. And even Nick's just like, well, yeah. Hello, she could be on her deathbed. But they have a little scene where she finally breaks down to Nick. Then they go to see Maddie, and I'm just like, okay, so now we're finally going to have a scene where they're just like, okay, this is home. And sure enough, Maddie's just like, you asked me if I had a plan, and like I said, or you were right, we're going to make this our home. And I'm just like, see, that's nice. They finally understand that they need to work together with some other people if they hope to survive. And she's like, we'll take it by force if we have to. I'm just like, what? Are you crazy? Like, you must be crazy. Because they've shown nothing but kindness to you since you've shown up. Yes, there was some hesitancy. Yes, there was some like, okay, stay outside. We're going to talk to you through the fence. But that's to be expected. You're new. You are new people. Of course they're going to treat you with some resistance. Like, hang on, we need to make sure we can trust you. But then after that, after Jake shows up, they give you a place to stay. They let Luciana in, even though it's against their rules to treat people who look like they're going to die anyway. The guy shows up and gives you a nice little talking to. He even says, you know, I understand you don't really want to be consoled, but, you know, he does console a little bit, and then explains, you know, if you're going to take a gun, I just need you to sign off for it. He's being very understanding, and so when you say, hey, we should make this our home, that makes sense. But then to say, hey, we need to take it by force, that makes no sense. First of all, you're 3 people up against an entire ranch full of people with weapons. Outmatched, outgunned, outnumbered. Stupid plan. Secondly, why would you want to take over in the first place? Why not just be a part of it? Why not help them, they help you, boom, boom. Simple solution. Everybody lives. Just because Troy's a psychopath, so what? Jake's even like, hey, we'll keep an eye on him. He tells Alicia that. Clearly, not all of these people are crazy. Just Troy. And yet, their first thought, hey, we need to take over this place. Like I said, the one person who, out of these 3, I'm not a big fan of, but I'm like, I don't really care. You know, I don't see her as a terrible person. Alicia's like, Mom, that's crazy. I'm just like, thank you. Somebody at least speaks some sense. Even though obviously she's not going to do anything because she's not a developed enough character to stand up to her mom. But yeah, even Alicia's like, yeah, this is crazy. This is a stupid plan. It's absolutely nuts how terrible these main characters are. Like, they just treat everybody around them like crap. Obviously, I understand why you're not willing to trust right away. But at some point you have to say, look, to survive in this world, we have to work with other people. We can't do it on our own. And they just keep trying to do it on their own. They just keep trying to force their way, keep trying to say, hey, we'll do it. We've got this. We'll do it. We'll do it. And it's just getting annoying now. Now you just seem like jerks because every single time somebody tries to help you, you're just like, oh, we'll just use them and then move on. So, yeah, a lot of problems here with this story. It's just really frustrating. It's frustrating to watch these main characters because there's nothing redeeming about them. There's nothing that makes me want to root for them. Honestly, I'm kind of rooting for the owner of the ranch right now and Jake. I want them to succeed more than I want to see Maddie or Nick succeed. So, on to the other storyline that was a part of this one. Not as frustrating, because it was actually more funny. I don't know why I found this one so much more funny than I find all the other stupid stuff. But there were a lot of things in the Strand storyline that just made me laugh. Like, it was so stupid, I had to laugh. First of all, we see all these people are coming up. Well, actually, best shot, the best scene, I think, in this entire thing. The opening shot, we see the pier, we see the beach, and it's like camera going across. We see all of the walkers getting out of sea, walking back up to the beach, and all I could think is, they addressed it. They addressed the one, or not the one of the biggest problems with the plan to lure the herd out of the hotel and off to the pier. They addressed one of the biggest flaws in that plan. They can survive underwater. They can come out of the water and attack you still. Sure enough, here comes all these walkers coming out of the water onto the beach. I'm like, thank you. You addressed it. I mean, they're still not really talking about it. They're still not saying, hey, this plan clearly didn't work. But they're showing it didn't work. They don't even have to talk about it. They just showed it. I'm like, that's a good scene. But then we go to the front of the hotel. We see that for some reason, What's-Her-Face and her son, Hector, are still not letting people in because they're still jerks. Strand shows up. There are some people asking for a doctor, so he shows up and he's just like, look, I'm a doctor. I'll help you. We'll let you in and I'll help you. I'll help heal anything. And so the people let them go. And I can't remember the lady's name. I'm going to call her hotel owner. The hotel owner and her son are just like, I can't believe you did that. You lied to them or something like that. And Strand's just like, I just saved your life. How about a thank you? They not a asshole. I'm just like, that's a funny line. It was really funny because it's kind of true. These people are jerks. Strand just stepped up. These people were pulling them against the fence, about to kill them almost if they didn't let him in. Strand steps up and says, hey, I'm a doctor. He's not, but he's willing to try, and he saves their lives for it. And what's their thanks? I can't believe you did that. So they let the people in. Strand starts treating everybody. Another really funny scene. This woman comes in, and she's pregnant. And the look on Strand's face, it was supposed to be kind of like a oh no moment. Like, what is he going to do now? He's not a baby doctor. But the look on his face was too hysterical. Like, because you could just see the look on his face like, oh, I can't do this. Like, this is delivering a bit. No. This seemed like something out of a comedy. Like, he's been helping all these people, and all of a sudden somebody walks in. I'm pregnant. My water broke. Oh. I got other things to do. But yeah, Strand's just like, I'm not a baby doctor. The guy pulls a knife out, the father of the child. He's just like, you said you're a doctor. He's like, he just said he's not a baby doctor. Hello. But, of course, they threaten him. Strand just, like, finally musters up the will. He's like, all right, let's do this. And then so sets to work doing it. And then, next scene, he's got blood all over his hands. She comes in with some alcohol and a rag to wipe it off. And she's just like, if the fact that we know you're lying means we have to keep it too, so you're going to have to leave. I'm just like, what? Bitch, are you crazy too? Oh my god. He saved your life. All these people were about to riot and kill you people. Strand steps up, saves your life, gives the people help even though he's not really a doctor. And because people nearly found out he's not a doctor because he can't deliver a baby, you're just going to say, oh, you have to leave now. Thanks for your help. We're going to send you off on your own. He's even like, can I have a car? They're like, nope, we don't have a car available. People in this world are terrible. And it's kind of funny in this case because these aren't the main characters. So I know I'm not going to see any more of them after this episode. So it's kind of funny to me just to see these people just be completely awful people to a guy who helped them. Make it even worse, Hector steps up and he's got a gun out threatening Strand. He's like, we got one more patient for you to save. I'd be like, look, you're kicking me out. Why should I do it? well, let me just threaten you with this gun. Oh, let me just grab the gun, turn around, and shoot you in the head. Anyway, sorry. So Hector takes Strand to this one room. He's like, this woman in here won't eat. Make her eat. Just like, okay. So he goes in there. There's some intense scene where he like sees somebody on the opposite side. He grabs something just in case it's a walker. Goes around and it's a mannequin. And then all of a sudden she's like, what are you doing in here? It's the mom of the bride who died in her wedding day or whatever. So, clearly still crazy, not eating. She's starving herself. So we see they have a little bit of a dialogue interchange. And then Strand eventually convinces her to put the knife down. He's like, let's get some fresh air in here. Opens up the door, and all of a sudden her mood changes instantly. And she's like, thank you. You're an angel. I'm like, gee, I wonder where this scene's gonna go. He just opened up the door to her balcony, and now she is extremely happy. I don't know. I have no clue where this could possibly go. I mean, who knows? Maybe she's going to stand out on the balcony and sing to the world. Maybe she's going to release the inner songbird that she has inside of her. Maybe we're going to find out she has the loveliest singing voice in the world, and she's just going to sing a song that's going to inspire hope and everybody that can hear it. Maybe the fresh air has given her a new lease on life. Maybe she's going to want to live like she's never lived before. Maybe all of a sudden the fresh air blows in the scent of food that she just haven't smelled in forever, and she's going to be like, I want to eat. Or maybe she's excited because now she has free reign to jump off the balcony, which Strand, of course, just doesn't even see coming because he's an idiot. And so she jumps off the balcony, kills herself, but not before giving Strand the keys to a nice car because, I don't know, like I said, they're treating this story like a comedy. He gets down there, pulls it off in slow motion, and he's like, my style and my color. I'm just like, this is a comedy. This is a comedy right here. Every decision, all of the jokes being made, some of just the way they're treating it, it feels like a comedy. And so, sure enough, he starts up the car, drives off. Somebody knows whether or not that car is more modern or if it... Because this whole thing is supposed to have happened in like 2010, I think. Yes, because The Walking Dead started in 2010. So, if that's not like a before 2010 car, if that's like a 2013 car that they're trying to show off, or even a modern car like 2017 that they're trying to show off, I do want to know to see if they are that much of a sellout that they put a modern car in there just to sell, even if it doesn't make sense in the timeline. But yeah, so that's pretty much how this episode ends overall. Like I said, there's still a lot of problems. There's still so many stupid decisions. And the main characters are just terrible. And when your main characters of a survival show are terrible people that you don't even want to see survive, that's the problem. I mean, you cannot have a show like that. Because that's one of the things that made Walking Dead so good. You wanted to see those people survive. Yes, there were your bad apples of the group that were just like, oh, I don't know about that person. But overall, I mean, the main characters, the main characters like Rick and Glenn, and even to some extent... Lori? Pretty sure it was Lori. God, I can't even remember her name now. It's been so long. But, Carl, he was a good one. All these people were pretty decent people. And so you have to wonder, why can't this show do it? Why is this show so focused on making our main characters all like, oh, we can't trust anybody. Oh, we have to take them over. Oh, we have to fight. Oh, we have to fight. Oh, we have to kill. I mean, they just don't seem like regular people. And that's a problem with the show. So, yeah. That's about it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this episode? Let me know. We can talk about it and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future The Walking Dead reviews. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.